What's going on, you guys? Boy, do we got some. Boy, do we got some to talk about today. So, after hearing what the PBC executive had to say, everything is starting to make sense. Salute to everybody in the building. Started to stream a little early today. See, your favorite YouTuber's not going to talk about this. Why? Because it sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Well, we going to talk about it. Salute to WJ Luckett in the building early. What's going on? He says Bud going to have to probably sign with PBC in order to get the Spence fight. I don't know if Bud wants to do that. Man. Man, it's a lot to unpack with what we just heard from Tim Smith, right? Salute to baby Juju, Craig Smith, Picasso, Fistiana. What's going on? Winners train, losers complain. Salute. Man. So Tim Smith comes out and pretty much says that they don't have what Terrence Crawford is looking for, basically. All right. I'm going to play the clip in a little bit once we get some more people in here. But they probably really broke over there. All these rumors that we've been hearing about PBC and what's going on may be true. Floyd Mayweather is fighting in another play fight after saying that he wasn't going to do that no more. Right? Every fight is on pay-per-view. You know, you're hearing that, Jake Paul all of a sudden is training MMA, throwing leg kicks now. You know, he got up out of boxing. Said that Mayweather Promotions is going bankrupt. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that side. And of course, with Terrence Bud Crawford, you have every other promoter other than Bob Arum. Bob Arum said he's still willing to work with Crawford. Surprisingly, right? The snake, Bob Arum, said he's willing to work with Terrence Crawford. But Eddie Hearn, oh, no, I don't want to touch him. PBC, oh, no, I don't want to go near that guy. Golden Boy is totally out of the question. It's crazy, right? That's why I say you never know what's going to happen in boxing. The bigger channels ain't talking about this because there's no way you can really spin this. It sounds like a bunch of bullshit to boxing fans, right? It sounds like a bunch of bullshit to boxing fans. We've been hearing a lot of bullshit for quite a while now. So hearing something like that, anything other than we can look forward to working with Crawford and we look forward to making this fight for the fans in 2022. That's what boxing fans is looking to hear. Not, economics. Yeah, that's the reason, you guys. Economics. Economics is the reason why Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence may not just happen. Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button for your boy. Let's get this stream going. Hit that like button. They playing games with us. They playing games. So you mean tell me Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, you putting everything else on pay-per-view? They putting everything else on pay-per-view. The fight that's been being built up by fans and the media for the better part of almost 4 years now. Oh, well, it may not do what it's going to do, and the fans go steal the fight. Don't even want to try. Then when you hear guys like Leonard Ellaby coming out pretty much saying that they can't afford Devin Haney, it leads fans to believe that the rumors are true. There's no other way you can spin this. What Tim Smith said. There's There's no real way you can really spin this shit. I mean, he's been having this type of energy with Terrence Crawford for years now. This dismissive type of energy, like, pay-per-view, his pay-per-view ain't do too good. You know what I'm saying? But nobody pay-per-view did good. Actually, Crawford did better than everybody over there recently, right? But his pay-per-view numbers ain't doing too good. So, the Spence fight may not have it because Terrence Crawford might want too much money. He might want too much money, right? It's not like they went to a negotiations and, they spoke and, Crawford, nah, they didn't even offer. It was a big assumption. But by that assumption, that tells you where they at with this fight. And then if you go look at the fighter's energy and how things been transpiring for the better part of 3.5 years, hit that like button for your boy. Start the stream a little early. Get this show rolling. Economics talks. E-file player, there's no economic talks amongst nobody else, bro. There's no numbers talks amongst nobody else. Nobody else has to do 700,000 pay-per-view buys. How much money do Terrence Crawford want? So Bob Arum got the bag. Apparently, right? Apparently Bob got the bag. And y'all know your boy Bushido always had the safety on when it came to PBC. A lot of you guys been letting the shots off, right? Y'all been letting y'all shots off. But your boy Bushido had the safety on. But I'm going to have to turn it off, take it off now. Because they playing games. They think boxing fans stupid. They think boxing fans just go fall for anything. They don't got no money over there for Terrence Crawford. But they'll put everything else on pay-per-view. Oh, well, nobody's going to buy the fight. They go steal it anyway. This is what this guy said. He said we ain't going to buy the fight, y'all. He said we ain't going to buy the fight. The fight that we've been talking about for 3 years. The fight that every box fan in the world wants to see. He said we ain't going to buy it, y'all. Salute to everybody in the building. He said we ain't going to buy the fight. And then with this whole WBA situation, as we all know, we spoke about it many times. This fight is further and further and further away from reality. Further and further away. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What Tim Smith said really just let fans know that this fight is further away than the reality than we once thought. That's exactly what I got from that interview from that dude. That this fight is further and further away than we really thought. That they assume that Terrence Crawford is going to want an astronomical amount of money to fight Errol Spence Jr. And see, the funny thing is, right, they used this Bob Arum excuse for years. Even I thought Bob Arum was a problem, right? And your boy should have had no problem eating crow. Had no problem eating some motherfucking crow. But they made it seem like Bob Arum was the major problem. But Bob Arum could have made the fight happen. I believe that Bob Arum, as of right now, I believe that Bob Arum could have made that fight happen, bro. If PBC was in the hole with the money, why don't you let Bob run the fight? Nah, Spence didn't want to go over there and do nothing. He didn't want to work with Bob being a diva. This is why Sean Porter was able to go over there, y'all. This is why it was a full-blown ESPN fight. These guys over there don't got no money for these big fights. But they found a way magically to get Canelo Alvarez what he wanted and pay up to 50 million, 52 million or something like that altogether with Caleb Plant getting $10 million. What did Caleb Plant do to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's been over there, right? But what pay-per-views has he done? Like, come on, bro, with these weak-ass excuses. When Terrence Crawford fight, people tune in. Outside of the pay-per-view, which is a hard sell for any fighter. He gets viewership. He packs the arenas. But all of a sudden, since he had 2 pay-per-views, right, didn't do too good. But who else out here is hitting big numbers in pay-per-view? Outside of maybe a Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather. Nobody, not even Jake Paul hitting like that. Dude got millions of followers on multiple platforms. Guess what? 65,000. These dudes are scared to put this dude in there with Crawford. They're scared to take a chance. They're scared to take a risk. There's a lot of fear over there. From the janitors all the way up to the executives. Smoke and mirrors, y'all. Smoke and mirrors. Dude dropped the ball. Said that they ain't got no money for Bud, y'all. They ain't got no money. They ain't got no money for Kumite Crawford, y'all. They said that Terrence Crawford was on the wrong side of the street. Really, was he? Was he really on the wrong side of the street? There's a lot of questions now. This is why I love boxing. You just never know what's going to happen. It's a lot of questions now. Was Terrence Crawford really on the wrong side of the street? For years. Oh, he was on the wrong side of the street. I think he might, and as of right now, it looked like he was on the right side. ESPN looked like they're doing just fine. Top Rank, they've been in boxing for 52 years. Yeah, they be on some okie doke, but they know what they're doing, apparently, right? Been in the game this long. Smoke and mirrors, y'all. Let me play this clip for those of you who didn't hear it.
What is hindering this fight from happening, in your opinion?
Economics. And you don't really want to insult a guy like Terrence Crawford, who's a tremendous talent. And I'm not taking away anything from his talent, but he hasn't been built into a pay-per-view star. And I'm not saying that to throw shit.
See, he needs to be a pay-per-view star in order for this fight to happen. But y'all throwing everything in the world on pay-per-view. Isaac Cruz and Tank Davis on pay-per-view. Right? But see, y'all was banking on his nationality, his race, to bring in the dollars, but it just didn't work out, did it? The pay-per-view been there for years, man, and they tried to squeeze whatever life they had left out of it, and now it's pretty much been exposed. They wasted a lot of money early on, having guys like Danny and Key fighting these bums for a lot of money on national television, free fights for everybody. And now what happened to all the money? Y'all don't even got money for Kumite Crawford. He's not hitting like a Fury or Wilder, asked for 100 millions and 70, 80, 90 million. Canelo, 40 million. Pacquiao, 20 million. Y'all don't want to even mess with Dev either, though. He worth too much too, huh? How much is Dev and Bud really getting? Who really is the cash cow of boxing? Maybe the cash cows of boxing is the ones that's not saying they the cash cows of boxing. Of course, Canelo don't never go hoop around saying he's a cash cow. We know he is. But these other dudes, who really cash cowing?
Beat up the guy, but you got to go on his track record. You got to go and look at what he's done, in the pay-per-view fights that he's been at, been involved in. And, that it's not my job to tell anybody how to make him a pay-per-view star. We have enough work on our.
They act like they built like a mega star. They acting like they built a mega star. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the Bronze Bomber, who? Right? Who? They struggling, man. And I'm not trying to knock them or anything. This is just the reality of the situation. They struggling, man. This is why Floyd and Leonard been, doing what they've been doing lately. This is why Floyd is fighting again for no reason. Like a kid for what? For who? Why? Because the billionaire gonna pay you millions and millions of dollars to do it. I mean, what the is going on over there? You know what I'm saying?
And dealing with, trying to make our own guys into pay-per-view stars, but he just hasn't been built. And trust me, if there is money in him fighting Errol Spence where he could get what he wants and Errol could get what he wants, that fight would get made. But you don't want to insult the guy. Nobody wants to insult this guy and make him an offer that's insulting. Nobody wants to do that. Like I said, he's a proud champion, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to him. But from a business standpoint, it's a fight that might excite the fans and all these people that are out there yelling about it.
Yep. See, the problem is though, you guys. I'm not even gonna play the rest of that. See, the problem is that these not like boxing people. These are not boxing people, man. These are like basketball guys and music guys. These are not like boxing people. This dude don't care whether that fight gets made or not. Economics, you guys. Economics is why we may not see Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. But I still do believe that if Errol Spence himself really, really wanted this fight, it'll happen. It would have been happened. PBC really was, hurt. Is that if they are really hurting, like, why didn't they just have Bob? Why didn't they just work with Bob to make this fight happen? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of questions. Danny Garcia gets paid a lot of money. All these guys, Pacquiao get paid a lot of money. How did you get money for Pacquiao? His numbers ain't hitting like that. Oh, he packs arenas. Crawford do too. All these top guys do for the most part. But they found money for Pacquiao. They was willing to give Triple G $20 million. Remember that? Before Triple G decided, when HBO first went out of the boxing, they was offering Triple G like $20-25 million, something crazy like that. Yeah, they was offering Triple G a lot of money to come over there and beat up on who? To come over here and beat up on who? Triple G pay-per-view wasn't hitting like that unless he was in there with Canelo. So who was he? Who was he hitting? What? They think fans are stupid. But I guess it's just business, y'all. It's just business. That's just what it is, right? See, a real boxing fan can't accept that. I absolutely can't accept that. I'm sorry. I can't accept that. I absolutely can't accept that. Nope, I won't. I can and I won't. I won't accept, well, it's just business and, it is what it is. No, I'm not going to accept that. That's a bunch of bullshit. This is boxing. You got a lot of dudes that's not real boxing people in boxing. That's the problem. You don't got real boxing people in boxing controlling things behind the scenes. You got a lot of just other guys just in it for the bread. This is like the Wild Wild West. You got some networks. I mean, you got a good group of networking going on and shit. You can get into boxing. Freeway Rick Ross is getting into boxing. You got some money, you got some influence, you can get into boxing. You ain't got no shit about it. See what the comments saying. Hit that like button for your boy. See what everybody's thoughts is on this crazy turn of events. Salute to my man Drizzy K. Yo, what's going on, bro? Marquise Monroe. He says they didn't cover. Oh man, they ain't go. They ain't gonna do that, Marquise. You know that, bro. You know, and really just it's not good news. It's not good news, right? And even the biggest Errol Spence fan, you can't accept this. How could you accept that? Knowing that you spent better part of 3 years as a fan going back and forth with a group of guys, protecting this guy from this guy, and now it's really looking like they on some ducking shit. How does that make you feel? For all my real boxing fans that are Errol Spence fans, not these guys that just came into boxing 2 years ago with the Dallas Cowboy train. Nah, I'm talking about the real boxing fans that's Errol Spence fans. How do you feel about this shit? That didn't sound good to me. That sounds like this fight is further and further away from a possibility. I just read Nebraska's life. Oh man. So that was funny, man. Salute to Marquise Monroe for the super chat. He says, if that's the case, Ugas and Spence shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Those other guys shouldn't have been on pay-per-view with Spence either. Facts, bro. None of those dudes should have been on pay-per-view. Salute to Jason Williams. I see you in the building. None of those guys should have been on pay-per-view. Danny Garcia never been on pay-per-view before. Danny Garcia wasn't hitting like that. You barely see these guys. You barely see them. It's not like they was fighting 3 times a year and putting up, like you barely see them. Years and years off and shit. But they still can get the pay-per-view fights and all this shit can happen. But when it comes to Terrence Crawford, economics. Politics, y'all. Politics of boxing. Good thing he didn't go ape shit on Bob now. Right? Fans wanted him to go ape shit on old man Bob. Good thing he didn't. Good thing he kind of just said, you know what, let me just see what's out there real quick. Let me just go walk around the corner and see what's over there and see what's happening. You know, I may come on back, because ain't shit happening. I mean, these dudes literally said he gonna want a lot of money, but we didn't even ask what he wanted yet. But we just know he gonna want a lot of money, and his pay-per-views don't really add up to what he possibly gonna want. It was a big assumption, but that's what they're thinking. That's their energy over there. That's what they're feeling over there and shit, right? Errol Spence been dismissive of the fight too. You start putting the pieces together and shit. He barely wanted to mention Crawford's name. Turn up and man down. We'll see. Maybe. What is he doing here? And all this shit, man. These dudes crazy as hell, bro. You got that? You got that right, Jason Williams. Salute again for the super chat, Marquise Monroe. Yeah. Good thing he didn't burn bridges. Good thing he didn't get all crazy and ignorant with Bob, bro. Because you just never know what's going to happen. And now that he's a free agent, finally, right? Boxing fans about 3 or 4, 5, 6 months ago assumed that, okay, once Terrence Crawford contract is up, we finally get to see what's really going to happen. Right? We finally get to see what's going to happen. And this is what's happening. They still saying the same shit. Well, his pay-per-view numbers. But you're putting everybody else on pay-per-view. Charles Martin Luis Ortiz was on pay-per-view. Tank Davis flopped. A guy that y'all push as a star. So what is it? I mean, I know what it is. These boxers get paid too much money, y'all. Yeah, I said it. They get paid too much money. They get paid way too fucking much. So much to where there's not enough money to keep the sport going. And so much to where we can't get the fights that we really want to get when we need to get them. Yeah, people say the UFC fighters will get paid. Well, look at how the sport is going. I mean, it's consistent. Consistent. Of course, this pay-per-view shit over there is pissing the fans off, so they're going to have to sort that out. But then you don't see these guys, these boxers. You don't see them. They're not accessible. Especially Spence. You barely see that dude. Salute WJ. He says Bud has to be a pay-per-view star in order to fight Spence. And Ugas a pay-per-view star. They certainly paid to make him available. Thank you, bro. They paid money to make Ugas available. But they claim that Crawford wants too much money. But you go pay a lot of money to get Ugas out of that jam. Step aside and the WBA to change their ruling. It's a bunch of smoke and mirrors, bro. It's probably a combination of things. They probably don't got the money for Crawford, and they don't want him to go over there and beat up on Spence and take all the belts and leverage that they got. Because if Crawford goes over there and beats up Spence, it's likely a wrap, dude. It's likely a wrap. I think they was PBC started off really strong, started off really good. But I think things are starting to fall downhill, man. That's what it's looking like. Like shit's that's just what you're hearing about Spence and tax issues and shit. You're hearing about these things. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm searching for it. You hearing about it. Salute to Mills Lane for the super chat. He says, you mean to tell me you can't afford Bud 10 to 15 million, 400K buys? At $80 is 32 million. Plus 8 million gate. They scared. Spence scared, Al scared, everybody. Facts, bro. Salute and thank you for the super chat once again. I mean, they scared, bro. Crawford Spence pay-per-view will sell. This is the fight where fans are saving their money for. We got our money for. People waiting to buy the tickets for this fight. They don't want to make the move because Errol Spence probably ain't right. It's a lot of shit, man. The Bronze Bomber may be retiring. That's their biggest star. That's their guy. That's the biggest needle mover. And he's contemplating retirement. Salute to the Bronze Bomber, a real warrior. But if they lose Errol Spence to Terrence Crawford and Terrence Crawford don't sign with them, oh man. They may have to put a Tank in there with somebody on the ESPN side. And that's all they really need to do. If y'all need Bob Arum's help and ESPN's help to make some of these bigger fights, then do it. Because putting everything on pay-per-view ain't the way to go. It's just not going to work. Dolomite says the PBC is losing money, not making this fight, which makes no sense except for Spence business fans. Facts, bro. They already trying to find excuses for this dude. Not on YouTube. I didn't see nobody, come up with excuses on YouTube, but on Facebook, yeah, dudes coming up with excuses for what this guy said, and Bud fans are delusional and all this other crazy shit. Man, them dudes ain't real boxing fans, bro. And you absolutely can't take them serious as fans. That wasn't something a boxing fan wanted to hear. Me as a fight fan, I did not want to hear no shit like that. I did not want to hear that. And guess why? And guess why he said that so come because he's not a real boxing guy. He's not a real boxing guy. So that's why he can confidently say some stupid shit like that. It's up to Errol Spence if this thing is going to happen. So now he going to have to get through Ugas and then decide if he want to really fight Terrence Crawford. Because the suits clearly don't want to don't want to deal with him. They assume he wants too much money. Hit that like button for your boy. Let's see how many likes we got. I already know y'all playing me on the likes. Y'all always do your boy Bushido bogus on the likes. Nobody else, none of the bigger, it's the smaller channels that's going to talk about this shit. None of the bigger channels, they got the range and shit and the algorithm on their side. They're not about to come out here and talk about this stuff, man. This real shit, this bullshit. So not only did they put a barrier in front of the fight with the Ugas situation, now they put another one with Crawford's pay-per-view numbers. We go see how Spence Ugas pay-per-view looked. And now that fans is talking about boycotting that fight, well then, hey, salute to Damone Daniels. I see you in the building. Let me take this microphone. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Salute to B Fighter. I see you in the building, bro. Just as a fight fan, that's just not something you want to hear. You don't want to hear that, you just don't want to hear that. It's just something so, especially when a lot of these other guys, Mikey Garcia, who didn't do nothing, who is rumored to be extremely difficult to work with, right? From a business standpoint, he's extremely difficult to work with, I heard. You know what I'm saying? He went over there, got the bag and left. You know what I'm saying? These dudes hopping over there, getting the bag and leaving. They paid Mikey Garcia quite a bit of money to deal with Errol Spence Jr. But you can't pay Kumite Crawford what he wants. Crawford has a fan base. Who said put Mikey Garcia on pay-per-view by himself? See what it do. You know what I'm saying? Put any of these guys, Mexican, whatever, put any of these dudes on pay-per-view by themselves without a guy like Canelo Alvarez or some shit and see what it do. He'll be lucky to get 10,000 buys. He'll be lucky to get 10,000 buys. All of his excuses and fear. It's a lot of fear. It's a lot of fear. That's right, Boxing Jams. It's not looking good. Y'all go subscribe to Boxing Jams. He has excellent breakdowns, etc., etc. Go subscribe to Boxing Jams. Crazy. It's not looking good, y'all. I didn't want to talk about this shit no more, but now we got something to talk about. The reason why it may not happen this year. Crawford's pay-per-view, economics. He might want too much money. So y'all broke. Why didn't you just do the fight with Bob when Bob was on his high horse saying, "Yeah, I'll make the fight. Yeah, Spence don't want the fight. It's Al Haymon. He doesn't exist." And all this shit. Why didn't you make the fight then? Bob ain't really got no money. Yeah, big balling, big fish, and all this shit. But y'all don't really runs over there. You hearing about he having tax problems? All types of shit. What's really good? Jake Paul talking about Mayweather Promotions going bankrupt. Next thing you know, he's over here leg kicking. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to do MMA now. He's hopping out of boxing before it will go bankrupt, carrying on his back. Man, what's going on? What's going on? They don't want to give us the fights we want to see. So now if boxing fans going to start boycotting, I guarantee you these UFC fans, now that they catch and win, it's already been reported fans go boycott. That shit made like official news and type shit. That fans are boycotting that pay-per-view shit. Why? Because MMA fans stick together. MMA fans on the same page. At the end of the day, we may not like each other and shit. We may be a bunch of assholes, but at the end of the day, we all fight fans and we want to see the best. And y'all trying to charge us $75, we go boycott that shit and stream the shit out of it. A box fans, no, these guys, they need to eat and all that. We need to eat too. They making millions. We need to eat too. And guess what? We not really getting what we want. So I'm not mad at the fans that's boycotting. Crazy. They don't even want to give us Spence Crawford. He said fans go steal the fight. He said fans ain't go buy the fight. He told us we ain't go buy that fight. He told us we ain't go buy the fight before they're not even trying to negotiate that fight, y'all. Yeah, that's right. They make videos on everything else. But when he comes out here and says something like this, they quiet as hell. Why? Because it's bullshit, y'all. There's no other way you could spin it. It puts a lot of validity into what guys like your boy Bushido been saying, Goodfella, and everybody else been saying for the better part of 2 or 3 years. That's all it does. It also raises the question, was Bud really on the wrong side of the street? Was Terrence Crawford really on the wrong side of the street? ESPN was able to get Crawford what he wanted. It was Bob Arum that was complaining that he wasn't getting nothing in return. Crawford was good. He was getting what he was getting. He just wasn't getting the fights. Because it seemed like Top Rank can make some shit happen. It seemed like they can make some shit happen, especially with ESPN behind them. Like I said, man, smoke and mirrors, y'all. All this shit for all these years, it's really starting to look like smoke and mirrors. Hey, Dirty Red, you ain't lying, bro. Steal the fight. I thought Spence was the guy that can carry the fight himself. He's supposed to be the cash cow and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? But y'all need Terrence Crawford numbers to do good. But Spence supposed to be some mega star. Come on, man, make this shit. That's what I'm saying. These guys are not real boxing people. And if I could interview a guy like him, I'll ask these same questions. And then he'll have to eventually tell the truth. He'll eventually have to tell the truth. Hit that like button for your boy. We got 67 people up in here. Seem like things been slow on YouTube. But it's also slow in boxing. Also slow in the sport of boxing. Yeah, they don't want that fight. They don't want the fight with Bud at all. They don't want to deal with him. They think he wants too much money. They was able to get Canelo. They was able to magically scrounge up $40 million to get Canelo Alvarez to go beat up on Caleb Plant, take everything they had left over there in that weight class. Was able to scrounge that up. And so, since he came out and said this, are you going to put Spence Ugas on pay-per-view? Since you know people go steal the fight anyway. You just go still try to do it anyway, ain't you? You go still try to put it on pay-per-view, ain't you? Even though you know people go steal the fight. Not too many detractors on today, I see. Yeah, fight boots, fight boots. Yeah, I got 3 words for that, Marquise Monroe. Blair, the Flair. That's what I got for that. Fistiana Fight says, I really don't think Spence wants to fight. I never thought that he did after all they made that $1 million bet. Oh, yeah. They made the $1 million bet. And now he don't want to fight. Bud versus Josh Taylor, Dirty Red. Bud versus Josh Taylor, y'all. That might be the next fight. Hey, you ain't lying, Dirty Red. Bob is going to find the money to magically make the fight with... Bro, I'm telling you. Everything is being put out on the table. If Bob is able to... Let's just say this happens, right? Let's just say this happens. Terrence Crawford decides to go fight Josh Taylor. Bob Arum is able to get Crawford over there to go fight. Josh Taylor ain't got no No, he ain't gonna have no belts. I mean, he gonna have clout, a lot of clout. He's the undisputed champion, just like he was. So it is a big fight. But Bobby Abrams gonna be able to make that fight happen, y'all. He's gonna be able to make that fight happen. And guess what? We know he gonna be able to make it happen. Because he's a real boxing guy. Say what you want about Bob. And I got a lot to say about Bob. But he's a real boxing guy. And you don't be in a game of boxing for this long if you ain't good at what you do. And that's just facts. Yeah, you're going to have to do some dirt. Yeah, you're going to have to be shiesty. Yeah, you're going to have to be shrewd. Yeah, you got to be all that. That's how you do it. That's how you survive. Boxing dirty as hell. But it seemed like Bob is willing to make the fights. For all these years, you know, fans was like, Bob been on the front line saying, hey, I'm trying to make the fight. In reality, man, it's looking like they didn't really want the fight. They didn't even, if they was having money issues, if that was the problem, I don't even know if that was the problem back then when this thing first started. But why didn't you just let ESPN Top Rank front the bill? Send Spence over. See, guess what? They didn't think Spence could beat. They don't think Spence could beat Crawford. That's why. They sent Sean Porter over there. And this is probably why Crawford tried to become the mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Remember he tried to become the mandatory of Spence? This is probably part of the reason why. This is probably why Crawford is alleged to have been dealing with those guys over there in Dubai, right? The Kinahan dude and all that. You know, there's rumors that he's been over there with the MTK. It's nothing like official or nothing, but it's just whispers. And this is like a whole bunch of assumptions. But it could be why. Because these guys know probably behind the scenes that PBC probably don't got money for Crawford. So he's become a mandatory to fight this dude so they can go to purse bid and the highest bidder can bid on the fight. That's probably part of Crawford's game of becoming a mandatory. So it can potentially go to purse bid so the highest bidder can bid on the fight. Whether it's Triller or whoever, the highest bidder can get the fight. That's a big fight for boxing. And if PBC ain't got the money, are they really holding Errol Spence back? That means Errol Spence don't want the fight. I don't think Spence wants the fight. He don't want the fight. Nope. He don't want the fight. Because he can let that shit go to bid. You know what I'm saying? And let the highest bidder bid on the fight. That's the biggest fight in boxing. Boxing fans will drop $100 probably for that fight. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating a little bit on that one, but that's a fight that fans want to see across the board. But they said Crawford pay-per-view numbers ain't too good, and economics is the reason why. And he may want too much money. That's not good news, PBC. That's not what boxing fans want to hear. Tim Smith should have came out and said, we'll be glad to work with Terrence Crawford. And we looking forward to making a fight with him, unifying the division with him, or some shit of the sort in 2022. That's what fans want to hear. Boxing fans, real boxing fans, is so sick and tired of hearing bad news for some of the bigger fights that may slip away. This is a big fight that may slip away, y'all. A big fight that makes it simply slip away. You ain't lying, Postman. Al Haymon, where he at? That's right. Where you at, Al? We gotta hear from you, dude. We need to know what's going on. He stay hidden behind the scenes, man. He don't deal with nothing. I mean, who's running the show over there for real? It seems like it's just a bunch of dudes doing shit. Who's really running the show? Floyd ain't running the show. He just the only guy that knows shit about boxing over there. He's not really running the show. Who's running that shit over there? Sylvia Brown? A whole bunch of people you don't see. So you don't know where they coming from. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't know what their agenda is. You don't know if they really in it to give the fans in the world what they want to see. You don't know anything from these people. At least with Bob and Eddie, Oscar, all those assholes, at least you know what you see is what you get. At least you know what you're getting from them dudes. They do some good, they do some bad, they say some bad, they say some good. But you don't hear nothing from these guys. Sam Watson is not even, he's like the face over there, but he's not really the face. Yeah, I don't know, Boxing Gems. He says, did they tell Spence they can't afford to fight? Why is he still talking about Undisputed if they can't afford to fight? Exactly, bro. It's a lot of questions. It's so many questions. That's a good one. Did they tell Spence they can't afford to fight? Is this why Spence has been kind of hesitant on really pursuing that fight? He got some type of gag order on him to where he can't really reveal these type of things. So he out here looking like a coward for no reason. Is that it? It's so many questions. Because he's been real quiet ever since Crawford started crossing that street. He said Al Haymon got some explaining to do. He do. Guess what? We ain't gonna never hear from him. We ain't gonna never hear from him, bro. If y'all got money issues, guess what? Make Spence versus Crawford. That's how you fix that. Nobody wants to see Floyd Mayweather beat up on some dude. Guess what? That dude's father's a billionaire. He's gonna pay money regardless, whether people watch that shit or not. But I'm talking about as far as some real boxing, you want to make some money, well, Spence Crawford's the way to do it. Give Crawford what he wants. You giving Mikey Garcia what he wants. Mike Garcia ain't do half as much as Crawford done. Mikey Garcia only got the big fights because he was a shorter guy in stature and he was Mexican. That's it. He wasn't a feared fighter. He wasn't nobody out here wrecking shit. He was just beating up on dudes and hopping on dudes at the right time. But he was able to get the fight with no problems. 50-50s and shit. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter, couldn't sell a family diner, right? Guess what? He got the fight. And it went on pay-per-view. Allegedly, it did like 350,000, right? Or something like that. Whatever it did. 200,000, whatever it did. They said Mikey and Spence did like 350. I'm not sure what the Porter fight did. I don't think it did good. I don't think none of those numbers was real anyway. The truth of the matter is, the pay-per-view just is a dead market. And now they running low. They out of money. They probably out of money to pay guys now, especially guys like Crawford. But then I don't know. It goes against the whole Canelo thing. But then again, Canelo can draw. But then I'm hearing that his numbers didn't even do us that good. The 800,000 was just capped. That the 800,000 was just capped. I'm hearing it was more like 5 or something like that. Boxing's a dirty game, man. You think these people wouldn't lie to us? Sometimes they telling the truth. Right now, yeah, he telling us the truth. They don't want the fight. They never did. They've been saying this shit for years. He said, can Spence beat Ugas first? I mean, can he? He may not even get past Ugas. He may not even get past Yordenis Ugas. Another hurdle. They just keep putting hurdles in front of this fight, man. This fight is dead in the water, y'all. They keep putting hurdles in front of this fight. Now we got a Ugas hurdle. Now we got another pay-per-view hurdle. Crawford pay-per-view numbers ain't good. So, you know what? We just not going to fight him because, you know, he want a lot of money. And I know it's a big fight for the sport, but we just don't want to do it. He not with Bob Arum no more. They had him, he not with Bob and shit. Good thing Crawford didn't really burn that bridge either. Good thing he didn't listen to knucklehead boxing fans and shit. He played it like a G. Yeah, Austin. Crawford outsold Tank. Crawford and Porter outsold Tank Davis and Jake Paul, like damn near combined. So I'm not really hearing any of that. Crawford is the biggest pay-per-view draw at the end of 2021. Yep. That's right. Crawford outsold Tank and Jake Paul combined. Oh shit. And y'all heard Mama Bushido. She had a hard time buying the fight. You heard the video. She had a hard time buying it because we was on the phone. I was trying to guide her through it. I was having a hard time buying that fight. It still did better than Tank Davis and fucking Jake Paul combined. So miss me with the nonsense. Nobody pay-per-view numbers is hidden. Give us the fight we want, then they'll hit. Bud sells more than Charlos too. Thank you, bro. All that shit is excuses, Drizzy. All of it is excuses, bro. It's capping excuses and fear. And we expose fear over here on Bushido Boxing. We expose the fear. It's fear. It's been too long to say it ain't. Sometimes you gotta give it a little time. He may be scared, but let's give it a little time. Nah, man, it's been about almost 4 years, man. They scared as hell. And now all of a sudden they don't got money. And Crawford might want too much money. He might want too much. Bud outsells Loma. Bud outsells T.O. Bud packs arenas. Bud can fight in a big room in the Madison Square Garden. All that shit what this guy is don't sell and shit is just a myth. That is a myth. You never see people dressed up as empty seats at a Crawford fight. And whenever he did fight on ESPN, he did millions of views. He's like the highest viewed guy. Him, Bronze Bomber Tank, they do really good numbers when they fight on premium television and shit. All these guys do really good viewerships. But see, a lot of these guys got it all wrong. Bob Arum trying to get back right with it, but he's on this app shit. So that's a work in progress, the app thing. But these guys should have been on TV. They should have been on TV and not fighting Rod Salkas, getting paid millions and millions of dollars. And now shit fucked up. Now you can't afford Kumite Crawford, the biggest fight in boxing. You can't even afford it. Thank God that Bob, and now looking back, thank God that Bob Arum was able to swindle Tyson Fury into signing with him to make the Wilder Fury trilogy. Jesus Christ, dude. I'm questioning everything I once thought now. Was Bob Arum really the fucking problem? All these years, Bob Arum, all this shit, man. I was thinking Bob was the problem. Was he really the problem? Now I don't even know. He seemed to be able to. He seemed to been able to make the fight, and he seemed to been able to want to make the fight, but they over there didn't want the fight. And if they was strapped for the dough for the fight, they didn't want you to work with Bob to make the fight. Nah, they don't care about boxing like that because it's not real boxing people over there. Floyd, the only real boxing guy over there. And he got to still fight. Man, come on, man. Smoke and mirrors, y'all. Hit that like button for your boy. Yeah, Jason Williams. I know it's taboo to say it. He says, like you said, Bushido, I know it's bad to say, but these fighters get get too much money too early. They got to earn that money by fighting real fights. We don't pay for undefeated. We pay for entertainment. Facts, bro. The post Mayweather era of boxing is a bust. And it's gonna take a collective effort from fans to end this bullshit. Dudes protecting their own and not taking the tough fights and using excuses to not fight the tough fights, the fights that fans are most intrigued by. They find a lot of excuses to duck fights. Like Larry Holmes said, these guys today ain't real fighters. We didn't duck nobody back in my day. I'm paraphrasing. He said these dudes today, they're not real fighters. They're not fighting nobody. He said we didn't duck nobody back in the day. We had to fight everybody. Them old school fighters don't respect these dudes like that, bro. This is why James Toney come talking about Errol Spence can't spray on fight. They don't respect that shit. These dudes making all that money and they ain't even fighting the toughest fights. James Toney had to fight Roy Jones and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, tough fight. Crazy, man. But we supposed to sit here and accept it and say it's just business. Nah, over here on Bushido Box, we're not doing none of that. Oh, it's just business and that's just the way it is. Those are not real boxing fans. Don't say that. Because today in boxing, unlike back in the day, fans have hey, we got control. We got control. Fans can unite and not buy these fights. Like I said, the UFC fans, they're already on boycott mode together. It ain't about my favorite fighter on this side of the street. None of that. No, we all together. We ain't gonna buy none of these pay-per-views until y'all get these numbers right. We ain't paying $75 for this shit. It's too expensive to be a fight fan. So there has to be a common ground amongst the fans, the fighters, and the promoters, etc. The promoters can't get everything. Guys like Canelo just maneuvering through boxing, beating up on turkeys, making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he's not fighting the toughest fighters out there. Those guys are starving out. Other fighters are starving out. Other top fighters are starving out. Why this dude maneuvering through boxing? Like, it's a lot of bullshit. There's way too much bullshit in boxing. Errol Spence, you barely see him. Supposed to be the face, one of the faces of boxing. You don't even see him. These dudes get the bag and they don't give a fuck. These dudes do not care. Bud Crawford may have to go up to 154 Marquise Monroe. He may have to go up there. Those guys, yeah, they make it seem like Bud was forced to fight. Nah, he wasn't forced to fight no damn Porter, man. We already know that, Jay. We already know that Bud wasn't forced to fight no Porter. Them dudes just looking for anything, man. They already lost. We already know what the real story is. We tell the truth over here. We already know what it really is. Dude already told us what it is. We heard it out of his own mouth. They don't want the fight. Dude they got exposed. He got exposed. He got exposed. Bud calling him out and shit. Calling him a, you know what I'm saying? Bud started getting real dirty with him. Crawford probably didn't even want to do that. Still didn't get him out. Come on, man. Them people over there don't want to fight. That's right, Jason Williams. Red Pill Boxing Talk over here. Absolutely insane. Your favorite YouTubers, though, the bigger channels, like I said, they get the thousands of people. They're not gonna talk about this shit. They're not going to talk about it. But if they do talk about it, they go make up some narrative that fits their agenda, saying that, well, Terrence Crawford don't sell. Well, guess what? Tank Davis don't either. Nobody in boxing selling, man. We can't just say Bud don't sell. And it's not even just about Bud. Nobody's selling, man. What's going on, Brandon House? I see you in the building. What's going on? I didn't like what your boy and them said, man. It's not good news, B. It's not good news, man. So now we got another hurdle. Crawford got to magically do great in pay-per-view. Hey, and actually, you might have been right. Maybe not knowingly, but when you said that Crawford is going to fight Josh Taylor, mark my words, you probably was right, bro. He may end up going back with Bob to deal with Josh Taylor if things not looking like it's going to work out with him with PBC. Bob said he's willing to work with him. Bob is the only promoter that's willing to work with Bud. So Bob is willing to get money that Bud wants. But Bob is willing to get the money for Crawford then, right? For all the money number guys. Bob is willing to get the money for Crawford to fight Taylor, right? Bob got the money for Crawford to fight Porter, right? Like, come on, man. But PBC can't get money for Bud to fight Errol Spence, the biggest fight in boxing. Are you kidding me? You have absolutely got to be kidding me. 503 Lion. Oh, he says, y'all keep the same. That's if he even make it through camp. That's if he even makes it through camp. Y'all got a lot more to worry about. Don't worry about what's going on over here. Y'all got to worry about this dude getting past Ugas now. He may not even get past Ugas. Y'all got a whole nother problem. Terrence Crawford is the least problems now. Y'all already know the fight ain't happening. But we looking at this as just a problem. This is just a problem. He said Bud is the only fighter to get kicked out by ESPN. Are you kidding me? See the stuff these guys be saying? These guys just got into boxing. They don't really know what's going on, man. And don't beat them up too bad, y'all. You know, they don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? They don't really know no better. They be too busy listening to them bozo channels where there's a whole bunch of guys that just don't know shit about boxing. And they really just don't know what's going on, and then they're not going to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Crawford is one of the biggest draws that ESPN had. Lomachenko they losing money on all those dudes over there, man. Lomachenko and them ain't pulling in numbers. Tiafimo, come on. But everybody want to pick on Crawford. Nobody in boxing really moving the needle like that outside of probably about 3 or 4 dudes. Tyson Fury ain't doing no numbers by himself, bro. Without the Bronze Bomber. He ain't doing no numbers by himself without the Bronze Bomber. Explain how am I crazy, 503 Lion, when it comes to Bud Crawford. This is. Oh, you said you was trying to make 503 Lion mad. Oh, my bad, bro. But I'm supposed to just sit back and accept this, though. Who said that again? What's his name? J 503 Lion. Yeah. I'm crazy when it comes to Bud Crawford. No, I'm crazy when I want to see some of the best fights to be made. This ain't even got nothing. Take Crawford out of it. That was some bullshit. Take Terrence Crawford out of it. What Tim Smith said was absolute bullshit, bro. You told us the fight ain't happening. You gave us a poor excuse as to why this dude hopped. Terrence Crawford did literally everything the fans and people asked him to do to try to make this fight with Spence, bro. He left Bob Arum and everything, and now they still saying the same shit. But you go say that I'm crazy over Crawford and this other bullshit. You should be upset right now. Salute to Eddie Terrell for the super chat. He says, so did Manny or Floyd or Mikey Garcia get kicked out of ESPN also? Nah, Nah, man. I think he was just joking. I think he was just joking, bro. I think he was just joking when he said that. But nah, man. Bud didn't get kicked out of ESPN. None of that bullshit, man. I mean, these guys just be making up stuff. You know, they just make up stuff to to undermine Crawford for whatever reason, man. I just want to see the best fight the best. And it just so happened Terrence Crawford's one of the best fighters. You know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to be Errol Spence, but it might be Ugas, a guy who beat Crawford already in the amateurs. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you can really spin what this guy said. I mean, that's how they feel. And if you heard some interviews in the past with Tim Smith, he had the same energy even back then. But he was even more arrogant about it. It seemed a little bit more arrogant about it because, you know, Terrence Crawford was locked in and they knew it. But now that he's free, he actually a free agent moving around these streets. Now he's like, oh, you know, he's a tremendous fighter and we don't want to piss him off. Man, who are these people, bro? Who are these people? Who? Who's running the show over there? Man. You can't be serious, you guys. Yep. This is probably why Bud wanted to become the mandatory to force it to go to a purse bid so the highest bidder could bid on the fight. It's a lot of questions, man. So many questions. So many questions you can ask from this. Make you question everything you've been thinking for the past 2 years. Was Bob Arum the problem? Was Terrence Crawford signing with Top Rank really the problem? How was Mikey and all these other guys who never really done half as much as Crawford? Never really fought on pay-per-view. Mike Garcia didn't sign an exclusive PBC deal. He fought some fights here and there. Was he fight by fight? But now Terrence Crawford, he may have to sign with us. And he also might want too much money. We don't know exactly what he want, but whatever he want, we don't got it. Strange enough, they said the same thing about Dev too. Leonard Ellaby came out and said something similar about Devin Haney. They can't afford Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford. So in other words, we don't want to have to deal with him either. We don't want to have to deal with him. Even though those fights do good on pay-per-view and everything else, man, boxing fans who support Tank Davis and Devin Haney and Crawford and Spence. Those are fights box fans will pay for. Those are fights that box fans will say their money up for to go get ready to fly out to. All that shit, man. They scared to put these guys in there with these guys. These gym rats. Guys like Devin Haney, guys like Terrence Crawford, gym rats. They scared. Come on, man. It's just deeper than that. It's deeper than it's deep. This shit gets deep. Red pill. It gets deep. These business guys and these guys here that their fighter may not be in the best shape. He may have not been really doing this and that and the third. It's a lot of other shit other than them just showing us what they got in the ring. Guys like Crawford, guys like Haney, they gym rats. They stay in the gym. They discipline. They serious fighters. And they worth a lot of money. They put in the work. Say what you want about Dev. He's a young boogeyman. He didn't even look good his last fight, in my opinion. He didn't look great. They still don't want no smoke. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Cerebral, I know you probably heard something too. He don't look good. He don't look right to me anyway. You know what I'm saying? He don't look right anyway. Then you're hearing the tax problems and shit. It's a lot of bullshit, man. A lot of bullshit, man. Come on, man. It makes you question everything that you've been hearing, everything that we've been talking about for the past 3 years. Maybe it's a situation that's just more recent. Maybe COVID really, maybe they really hit. Who knows what's really happening? But when you hear guys like OG Leon Muhammad, who knows a lot about the shit, what's going on in boxing behind the scenes, man, it ain't looking good over there, man. Yeah, Herbie Weaver. They talking about he had tax problems. I mean, how are we even hearing about these things? Allegedly, right? Allegedly. Is Errol Spence in camp? I mean, no. Did he go back in sparring? Like, do his fans even wonder these things? Or y'all just want to see a nigga shining? That's it. Y'all question if y'all boy had some good sparring sessions yet? Is he 100% yet? Was the eye injury real? I mean, it's a lot of questions. B-Hop came out and he said he didn't believe it was real. Box fans jumped down his throat because you can't say that about Lord Thou Savior Spence. But B-Hop know the game, man. Sometimes when these dudes be sound like haters, they may be telling it, yeah, they may sound like some hating shit, but they probably telling you the truth too. Them OGs and shit, they ain't got nothing. What you gonna do to them? Nothing. What they got a lie for? Them old school dudes, them old school street dudes, and they will keep it 100 with you. They come from a whole different era, man. Bud versus Boots. All this shit is distractions and shit, man. All these distractions. Oh, man. But we gonna expose all that shit over here. We gonna keep it all the way 100, man. And if your favorite fighter just so happened ducking, I mean, I'm gonna have to let you know about it. Now he ducking. We gonna look at the facts first. We gonna look at the facts. We may give it a little time, but after so long, hey man, you didn't cross the line, the duck line. These dudes ducking smoke. Crawford is really the boogeyman out here in these streets, man. That shit crazy. That shit crazy, man. We might see Crawford Ugas, Crawford Thurman. They may, do PBC got enough money to make Crawford Thurman? You know what I'm saying? Crawford Ugas. What if one of those guys, what if Keith Thurman wants to fight Crawford? Will PBC be willing to make it happen for Keith? Right? What if Keith Thurman Barrio pay-per-view, right? That's pay-per-view. What if it don't do good? How could you justify that? Right? How could you justify not giving turn? Come on, man. Keith Thurman Barrios probably gonna do 50,000 pay-per-view buys. I guarantee it's probably gonna do somewhere around 50,000. So how could you justify not giving Crawford what he wants if he's out selling all these dudes with Sean Porter, a guy who couldn't sell out a family diner? Also, Top Rank was able to get Sean Porter over there and get him what he wanted to fight Crawford. And to pay Crawford what he wanted. Crawford's not a draw. Nobody in boxing drawing. None of these dudes are drawing. None of them. None of them. An African and a Polish dude in the UFC can do 800,000. An African and a Polish dude in the UFC can draw 800,000. Did you hear me? And we want to talk, man. Come on, y'all. Wake up. That's why I'm a fight fan. I know these things. I'm not stuck in this boxing bubble. I'm standing way outside the fucking bubble, and it's looking like a bunch of bullshit down there. Bunch of bullshit. The biggest fight in Asian kickboxing, the biggest fight in kickboxing is about to go down in June. 2 different sides of the street. They finally made it happen. It's going down. The Spence Crawford of kickboxing is finally going down in June. But we can't even get the biggest fight in boxing because economics. Because of economics, y'all. This is the shit that they're telling us boxing fans. And if you're not upset about it, then you ain't a real boxing fan. If you didn't think it was cap, I mean, if you didn't think it was bullshit, you ain't a real boxing fan to me. If you think it's just business, then you're not a real boxing fan. Salute to Marquise Monroe for the super chat. He says, we boxing fans got to make them feel it. Don't buy it. That's right. Loyal to the game boxing. Salute, man. And what happened to you, man? And what happened? He says, blame Bob. Nah, man, we blaming Al. We blaming Al. We blaming PBC. That's what we doing. We not blaming Bob no more. And I don't even like Bob. But we're not about to keep blaming Bob because Bob seemed to be able to make the fights happen. Bob seemed to want to make the fight happen. But every time these guys over there open their fucking mouth, you hear some bullshit like this. Oh, well, his numbers and economics, and he might want too much. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. We can't keep saying blame Bob and all that. We can't do that. There has to be some type of common ground as a fight fan, as a boxing fan. Like, hey, look, man, that was some bullshit, Tim. I'm an Errol Spence fan. That was some bullshit. That didn't sound good. Now I got to listen to these Crawford fans for the next 3 months. Come on, man. Ain't you tired? That's because Valdez is scary. And they not making Haney fight nobody over PBC either. And Gary ain't getting no work over there. Yeah, Valdez is running anyway. He says, how many more times we gonna make people? I mean, a lot more times. I took the safety off. See, a lot of you guys been letting them shots off on PBC and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been having a safety on, but I gotta take that shit off, man. Them dudes been on some bullshit for a while now. Blame Spence. That's right, Drizzy KO. Blame Spence because he can make this shit happen. He sent back letting this lame shit being said. That was lame what this dude said, man. That wasn't good. That wasn't good news at all. That lead me to believe that this fight is way further than reality than I thought. They did a lot of shit to make this shit with Ugas happen, y'all. And this is why. They were scared Crawford was coming. He was about to be knocking on the door. They heard he was coming down the street. They started locking the door and shit, man. Then they went and got Ugas out of that gym to have him in as a man. Come on, bro. Are you kidding me? They don't got no money for Bud, but they paid a lot of money to get Ugas in. They did a lot, man. They did a lot to make this thing with Ugas a reality. That is crazy, man. I'm just, it's annoying. Yeah, it's too many agent out tactics. You ain't lying, Cash G. Too many agent out tactics, bro. Too many agent out tactics. Too much just like, bro, you can't justify saying Crawford ain't a draw if Tank Davis is only doing like 50,000 buys, bro. Terrence Crawford, he outsold Tank Davis and Jake Paul, bro. combined with Sean Porter, a dude that couldn't sell out a family diner. Are you fucking kidding me? You can't say that and then say that. That can't happen and then you say that. That just, you don't want the fight, man. Y'all don't want to deal with the dude. Just say that. I respect that a lot more if you just say, you know what, we don't really want to deal with him. Arrow's not ready or some shit like that. Nah, you just say that. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. They want to keep this little illusion up and shit for as long as they can. That's why Ugas whoop his ass. Good riddance, man. No, nothing personal, but if Ugas, and I like Ugas, I want Ugas to win anyway. I'm an Ugas fan, and I want Ugas to get the job done. I like the underdog, the Cuban fighter. Get him up out of there. Get him up out of there. Maybe, just maybe, we can get Crawford Ugas or Ugas Crawford in 2022, 2023. The two oldest guys in the division right now. The two guys that fought each other in the amateurs, and now they about to close the show for Undisputed. That's a good story anyway. All this diva shit, dealing with Errol Spence, and shit's a lot of diva shit. He should have been more like AB. Box fans don't respect Broner. I got a lot of respect for AB through the ups and downs. Why? Because AB carried himself like a real warrior. Despite his clownish antics, he didn't have to do none of the shit that he was doing. He could have been taking the easy road. Nah, he moved up 2 weight classes and fought a Maidana. They had them fucking horsehair gloves. They're probably the reason why AB's fucked up now. Moving up, fighting Sean Porter. Actually dropping Sean Porter. He didn't go against the plan. And you know, he had his own problems, right? But he carried himself like a real warrior. And AB will always get my respect. In a diva era of boxing, he moved like a real warrior. He didn't have to fight Sean Porter or guys like that. He didn't have to move up 2 weight classes. He could have sat down there and beat up on dudes and just sold tickets and became a superstar, quote unquote. But he was too street for that whole shit. So salute to AB. He gets love over here. But these dudes, like Spence and shit, nah, bro. He ain't moving like that. Spence could take the reins and go for this shit. He could do that. And I'm strongly convinced that he can. But he not. He go sit back and hide. Yeah, AB did duck Bud, bro. He did. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? He didn't really want to deal with Crawford. Nobody asked him to. But yeah, AB didn't want to deal with Bud. But I'm not asking AB to do that. AB, he already proved to me that he's a real warrior. But Spence, man, beating up on a lot of little dudes. You know, AB a guy that took risk, right? Moving up 2 weight classes. Spence didn't do none of that. None of these feats, man. No feats. What feats? None, bro. It's all cap, man. Errol Spence still got to show me something. I'm back on that again. He got to show me something. I ain't seen nothing. Mikey Garcia, well, he lost against Sandro Martin. It's the only undefeated fighter he beat. And he got beat by Sandro Martin from Spain. Better than fashion than he did. Hey, you ain't lying, Matt Boone. This fight is the biggest fight, and it'll do great numbers, even with people streaming. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, but whatever reason, Crawford wants $1 million or something, $100 million for this fight, or they don't got $100 million that Crawford wants. I guess Crawford wants an astronomical amount of money that they just simply don't got. They was able to scrounge up $40 million up front for Canelo, for him to rob the bank and beat up on Caleb Plant, take their belt, get the pay-per-view cut and all that. You know what I'm saying? This is why Floyd is mad. This is why Floyd is fighting. That shit is fucked up over there, man. Logan Paul talking about he want his money still. I mean, what the fuck, dude? That's crazy. They all moved down, Tone Money. They all moved down. Hey, you ain't lying, dude. That app was complicated, and even me being pretty tech savvy and shit like that, right, man? It was still because I already have ESPN Plus. I already had it, and then I tried to get it order the fight. They tried to make me go for a year for $90 or something. I'm like, no, hell no. So I went on the phone and did it. That my mom and them had to get the $90 one and shit. They really bamboozled fans, and it was really confusing how to buy it. Then it wasn't on sale to the last minute. Still did 135K though. Still outsold Javante Tank. And Tank my guy. But all that shit's an illusion, man. Hopefully you guys like Tank wake up. Tank could be a huge star. Just period. With better fights. They're milking Tank, wasting his good years, nickel and diamond. Luckily, Tank got back on a discipline road. But Tank Davis needs to be in a bigger fight. That's how you go get the most out of this little guy, Tank Davis. Can't keep having him fighting these same guys. No disrespect to Isaac Cruz. He showed that he deserved to be a top lightweight, but that was almost an accident. You know what I'm saying? That was like an accident. That wasn't supposed to happen like that. Tank Davis needs to fight somebody. They sitting here doing this, that, and the third. And you wonder why people stealing pay-per-views because you're not giving the fans what they want. They're trying to hustle the fans and shit, man. They think they don't respect the fans. You give us what we want, we give you what you want. And that's just what it is. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.